Hey, I got a quick question for you. Are you thriving? Do you know what is essential for you to thrive no matter what stage or age of life that you're at? Well, I've got a great guide for you, and you're going to get to grab it, and I'll put it in the show notes. It is on how to thrive. It's a quick checklist with some affirmations that you can even print out and carry with you. And I hope you will go over and check it out at hillarybaggett.com/thrive. Welcome to Hill Talks Podcast, the podcast when you listen in, you'll know you're not alone, especially in midlife. We're talking mind, body, spirit, and your business. It's a holistic perspective. I'm your host, Hillary Baggett, founder of the Women's Midlife Network, and I'm truly glad you're here. Today, I'm talking about what is essential in order to bloom in midlife. So it's natural that I would interview one of the founding members of the Women's Midlife Network and Community Bloom, Susie Day. She's the founder of Blooming in Midlife, and she is an autoimmune mentor and works with essential oils and also a different perspective. So listen in. Susie.
Hi, Hillary. Thank you so much for having me today. Excited to be here.
I'm excited. Yeah, let me just dig right in of what led you to start Blooming in Midlife?
Actually, about 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and had a lot of experiences with that dealing, it changes your life. And, I was on traditional medicine for a while, but I didn't want that. I didn't want to have to be on medicine to just get through the day for the rest of my life. So I started looking at some alternative methods that I could use to improve how I felt inside and out, because it's kind of depressing when your body is acting 100 years old and you're only 40. So I really did a lot of research to find out how I could improve my pain level by changing my diet. I started doing energy medicine and tapping, mindfulness and meditation, changing certain foods that I had eaten that actually were causing a great deal of pain and didn't even know it. So it was pretty interesting just how one little tweak here and there made massive difference overall in how I felt. So I wanted to start my blog to share my experiences with that and with all the other midlife surprises that we get to have, like the weight gain and the sleepless nights and, all the fun stuff we get to go through in midlife. So, it's not all about autoimmune. I am a woman and I am in midlife and, I have other things, I'm not my diagnosis. Lots of experiences being in midlife. So I really started the blog for that reason, and it's just grown and blossomed into something pretty cool. And so I'm really excited about it.
Wow. So really, it was truly birthed out of your experience, your challenges, and what you overcame. And now
Yes.
you kind of want to share that and pass that on with, sounds like other women maybe who might be going through this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to, other women that have diagnosis of autoimmune, because autoimmune, even though there's different names and different forms, they all are rooted in our immune system. And they're all something in our body is trying to attack us. But it shows up as different symptoms. And it can be very scary in the beginning. I remember when it first came on, I woke up, literally just woke up. I was laying and I had my hand on the pillow like this, and I kind of opened my eyes and I could not open my hand. It wouldn't open. And I'm like, I kind of pried it open and I'm like, okay. And the next few days, over the next few days, it was just got worse and got scary, and then it just kept getting worse from there. And it was very scary. I went for a year and a half not knowing what was wrong and kept getting worse and worse. I couldn't walk, I couldn't lift my arms up. And so I want to help women that, either newly diagnosed or have had it for years. And because sometimes we take the medicine and we're still having the flare-ups. We still don't feel good. And so I want to help women know that there is another way.
Wow, I love your mission of blooming and encouragement and finding the right way. And we know that there's not a prescriptive that one size fits all for a change in diet or exercise. But would you say, what are the top 3 things that you really noticed made maybe the greatest difference for you? Could you share that with us?
Yes, absolutely. As soon as I stopped eating dairy products, I stopped having flare-ups.
Okay.
One of the key signs for rheumatoid arthritis is, joints that deform, and they can get red and hot and swollen, and you can't move them. And that's a flare-up, and it can happen in your wrist and your fingers, your knees, your hips, anywhere there's a joint. And when I stopped eating dairy, I literally stopped having flare-ups. I was just like, wow, I'm onto something here. And I want to be able to share that with others.
Fantastic. That is a wow. When you find, because sometimes we have to eliminate so many things and then introduce them back in one at a time in order to get to what is the triggering or activating inflammation or inflammatory substance, right? Okay,
and for me, it was dairy. For someone else, it could be meat, or someone else, it could be gluten, or someone else, it could be yeast. So it's definitely about learning about an elimination diet. It's a process that you go through of eliminating and bringing back in. You kind of mentioned that just a minute ago. But that is something I want to be able to help, teach women. And by just maybe eliminating one food group, dairy was my love. I love dairy. I love cheese and sour cream and rich, creamy ice cream and all that stuff. So it was really hard. It took me a long time to let that go. But once I did, and I saw that, oh my God, the improvement.
Yes.
Never look back. Never look back, and don't regret it. Don't miss it at all. So,
I appreciate, I was just going to say, I appreciate that you're sharing, that, hey, I love this. I too had a love affair with dairy, and I had a grieving process of letting go and finding if it's an amount that your body accepts or if it has to be a clean breakup. Sometimes that happens too.
Exactly. So that was one thing, dairy, huge difference. Another thing, fish oils. When I started taking a fish oil supplement, and they come in liquid or the gel caps, I really noticed a difference in my joints and flexibility, the pain. It helps with inflammation. Fish oils are great for everything. Your inflammation, your brain, your heart, everything. So fish oils was another one. And the third thing, which it took me a long time to discover this, but once I found it, wow, that was the missing ingredient. And it's energy medicine. Energy medicine is a method of moving energy in the body. I mean, we're all energy. Everything is energy.
We are. We're made up of positive and negative ions, electrons, neutrons, protons. Absolutely.
Exactly. And a lot of energy can get stuck in our body, in our chakras, in the meridians. And so I learned energy medicine. And within 1 month of doing energy medicine, I saw more improvement than I did the previous 4 years of everything. I tried everything on the planet, diet and exercise and mindfulness and supplements galore. And I saw more improvement in 1 month with energy medicine.
Now, do you mean something like Tai Chi, or do you mean like Reiki, or?
It's all kind of similar, but this is like it's kind of like a tapping more, because you're working on meridians. Like one of the things, doesn't have to do with joints, but if you have a headache, you can get your fingers right here. Hillary, why don't you do it with me?
Oh, yeah.
Put your thumbs right here and then your fingers here and push in and pull hard across your forehead. This is called the beginning of a crown pull.
For those of you just listening, then what you're going to do is put your thumbs kind of on your temples and bring your fingers to meet at the center of your forehead. And then it's going to work your way up to the crown of your head and drawing the fingertips down and away from the eyes, away from the top of the head. Give that a try and tell me what you think.
And then you can do it all the way down your head with your fingers, or you can go above. I'm going to go above because I don't want to mess my hair up.
Your hair looks great.
But it works just as well. So I push in and I pull. I push in and I pull. And what this is doing is it's opening that crown of your head and allowing the energy to be released. When I started doing that, I stopped having sinus headaches, the tension headaches. It's just energy medicine was the key for me, and I think it can be the key for a lot of people dealing with chronic pain, dealing with chronic emotions, all kinds of things. So that's just one thing. There's an array of other things that can target and that have helped me improve my pain level and my energy. I've always kind of been a half glass full kind of girl. I was always looked on the positive side, but when you have something really weighing you down, like chronic pain, and your body is just aging very fast, it's really hard to stay positive. So it helped. Energy medicine also helped get me back to who I am. So.
Oh, yay! Well, you have such a huge heart to share what you've learned, your experiences, and all of these techniques and strategies to help other women. So how do you see yourself kind of moving forward of providing this help and support for the women out there?
Well, I hope to help them through my blog. And I'm currently in the process of starting to create a course. I don't have the name or anything yet, but it'll be some kind of autoimmune mentoring course, but also be able to work with them as a group and or one-on-one, weekly, for like a 6-month program, something like that. Because whenever you start to make changes in your life, it's really hard. I mean, even if you want to make that change, it's still really hard. And so I'd like to offer a support group to help women through the steps of diet and through the steps of learning, energy medicine. Or alternative therapies like tapping, and meditation. And there's so many things. There's just so many areas, and essential oils. That's another thing that I'm certified in aromatherapy, and I've learned many great essential oils that can help with pain. And so I make a pain blend for my knees and my wrist and, my hands and elbows, whatever's hurting, that really makes a huge difference. So there's that aspect of it too. So that's my future goal, is to create a course, mentoring course for women with autoimmune conditions, and to help them thrive and feel stronger in their body. That's one thing that when you have chronic pain, you don't feel very strong. You feel pretty fragile and weak. And I don't feel that way anymore. I feel stronger in my body, and stronger in my mind, and definitely stronger in my heart. And I really, hope to help women that way. That's how I want to help.
Fantastic, Susie. I've definitely gotten the sense that you are from a holistic perspective, working in the all natural, doing some of the detective work of what's working for us and what's not. And through your experience, I'm just confident that you are going to help and encourage so many women to kind of take back that joy and that freedom of movement and freedom of thinking and all of that health moving forward. So thanks so much for joining us today. Any last words?
Any last words? Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm just thrilled to be in this community. It's just, I knew it was the right fit when I saw community bloom, because I'm blooming in midlife. I thought, oh, it's destined.
Fantastic. Well, good, Susie. We will see you around.
Thank you so much, Hillary. I appreciate it.
So I'm going to brag on Susie for a minute. She was so brave and coming on camera and being recorded. It was one of her very first times. So well done, Susie. Well, I've got some great resources for you to reach out to Susie at Blooming in Midlife, and she is that across all of her handles, but in the show notes, I will include ways that you can grab her freebies. Since we recorded this, Susie has created a mini course on essential oil blends, and you can contact her to reach out for that. So I hope it was helpful for you to learn about some energy essentials that affect people, especially with autoimmune, identifying what the triggers are. And I do hope that you will reach out to Susie, and I love her holistic approach. This is Hillary Baggett with Hill Talks Podcast. Listen in and know you are not alone. And Community Bloom, the Women's Midlife Network. Music is March of the Dragonfly by Belmont Club. And as always, we hope you hear the love. Until next time.